Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be going through my 2025 book journal. So I will be doing a flip through of my book journal, and I'll also be talking about the stationery that I used while completing this book journal. So this is the journal that I chose. I got it off of Amazon. I really love the colors that is used. I also really enjoyed the butterfly and the crescent moons. I really think that the gold really made it pop out more. The sides are very holographic, which I love holographic things. It's on all the edges of the book. I also really like having this elastic band because it does get chunky, especially if you do a lot of scrapbooking in your book journal or any type of journal. It's really good to have that elastic so it actually keeps it in place. Another thing I really enjoyed about this book specifically is the ribbons. There's actually 3 of them that comes with the book. I think I only like it when there's 1 or 2. 3, I'm guessing if you have different sections. I didn't have too many sections in the book because I just had the one main section and then the monthly section at the middle-ish area. But I think if you really enjoy having more sections and you kind of want to know where they are without having like a contents page, I would probably recommend getting more ribbons if you can. I will definitely link the book journal in the description below. It's by a company called I really loved working on this journal, and just the shiny shimmer of the sprayed edges is so pretty to me. The only thing regarding this journal is that there's quite a lot of pages, so if you do a lot of spreads and a lot more pages, there's like a lot of pages in here, but I just did not fill all of them in, so it does feel a little bit empty. So that was the book journal. I will go through the stationery first before I actually go through the flip through of my book journal. So firstly, I used a lot of pencils in the book journal, and these types of pencils is what I use. They're from DATS Natures and Colors. These coloring pencils were a hand-me-down from one of my cousins a long time ago. I don't see the point in buying new pencils when I have so many to get through. I just used those. I don't know if you can get them anymore, but really any type of coloring pencils is completely fine. You don't have to go crazy. I did start off with using this black Sharpie permanent marker. The only thing is it does bleed through the page, but because it's oil based, this specific permanent marker, I stopped using oil markers and I just started using water-based coloring textures because I just did not like how it bled through the pages, and that really irritated me. So I used these. I have had them since I was in high school. I really like this brand. I believe it's from Germany. I really enjoy the thickness of this texture. And then I've also got fine liner tips. So this is 0.3 millimeters. I enjoyed this a lot, especially when I was doing my book bingo section. I used this quite often, and then I also used it with my Reading Goal 100 spread. In here are the highlighters that I used when I was doing the book journal. It can just be any type of highlighter. I was trying to use up more of the darker highlighters that I have. Then I just got basic stationery. Really, it's whatever you have. Like, you don't have to go full out. If you want to do more stickers, do more stickers. If you want to do more colored texture pencil base, do that as well. So of course I just used a grey lead pencil, then I have a rubber or an eraser, then just a ruler, then just a sharpener, then just scissors. If you're a person who makes a lot of mistakes like I do, I recommend whiteout if you are totally okay with having imperfections. I wasn't in the beginning, but then I was bound to make a lot of mistakes, and I'm most likely going to keep making mistakes. And if it's a whiteout, if I can white it out, then I would. If I didn't, then I'll just fix it with another way or try a new creative way to get around the mistake. Just a glue tape. And then lastly, I just used some stickers throughout the book journal. But yeah, that's all of the stationery that I used for the book journal. I will now show you the flip through of the 2025 book journal. Okay, so this is the journal. Let's open her up. Then we go into the title page. Something simple. I did start off with doing a lot of stickers, and I was trying to do a whole situation with like scrapbooking. I don't think it turned out the best. I think it's great for a first time book journal, but it's definitely not my favorite page. I did end up printing these letters so I can put them in. Definitely don't want to do this for my next journal. Then we have the reading goal page. This is by far my favorite spread of the entire book journal. It took me so long to complete, but I think it was so worth it. I had 100 books for 2025 and I did complete it. As you can see, every book is filled in. And then we've got the book bingo. I also finished this, but I really liked how I colored in specific for that book. Like for example, this is Akatar, this is Akamar, this is Vigilante, and these all mean something specific to the book. You got Cruel Prince here, Good Girls Gonna Murder, got Powerless, Onyx Storm. So you got a lot of bits and pieces, but this is like the only one that I did not like, and because it's very plain and does not suit everything else. I think I'm gonna keep this style of filling in with the theme of the book. I really enjoyed that. Then we've got 25 books in 2025. As you can see, I've only got one left, which I'm currently reading, and I'm hoping to finish it off by the end of the year. I think I'm gonna do something similar with my next year's one, which is the 26 books in 2026. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it yet, but I feel like I'm gonna do something similar, but not at the same time. Then I've got my series tracker. I kept a couple pages of this because I was expecting to be starting a lot of series, and I did. I have a whole bunch of different series and I just blocked them out whenever I finish the book. So as you can see, I discontinued one book here, and if it was finished, I made sure to say that it was finished also. So I have a couple pages of the series tracker. Then we've got my faves, 5 stars, and rereads. Now, I have one right here, which is the Way of Kings book. I don't know if it's going to be a 5-star yet, but since it's the last book of 2025, I have kept it ready to go just in case if I do think it's a 5-star and I have a spot ready for it. I did run out of room, but I feel like it's cute how this kind of like pops out. But I was actually surprised. I did not expect to have so many 5 stars. It was actually crazy to see how many 5 stars I had this year. So that was actually a really pleasant surprise, especially with all the different genres. Like I really got into the dark romances near the end of the year. A lot of fantasy books at the start of the year, and I completed Harry Potter, which I'm so happy about. I did a lot of rereads. I'm probably going to do the same next year also. Then we've got the yearly statistics. This one, as you can tell, I made so many mistakes, but this was definitely a hard spread to keep up to date with, especially with all the stats. I do want to do a lot better next year with this one. And as you can see, I've already started filling in because the last book will be The Way of Kings. So I've already filled out, but if I don't finish it, I'll just change everything. I have to say though, looking back at all the different books and when I read them and also the pages, it's pretty awesome. I do want to do more of a visual graph next year if I can, because I like seeing the numbers, but I feel like if you see like a visual graph, it looks so much better. Then I've got the buddy read spread. I absolutely loved doing the buddy reads with Moni, and I am so excited to do some more next year. We've already started looking into books that we wanted to read together next year, so that's going to be awesome. I will definitely have a spread for 2026 as well. Then we've got anticipated reads. So these are all the books that I was really excited to read this year, and I anticipated them to be 5 stars. Next, we've got the spooky reads. I did not read that many horror genre books. That is definitely something that I want to change this year and then start incorporating Stephen King. If I do something similar to this, I'll probably do one page again. But this one's not my favorite spread, very bland. I definitely will do something different, but I tried to do like the whole spiky thing, but I don't know, it didn't really work out in this page. Then we got my dark romance spread. As you can tell, I read so many different dark romances. I am absolutely loving dark romance, and I am so excited to dive more into dark romance in 2026, but I love this spread. I know it's very plain, but I just absolutely love this section here. It's hilarious because I actually made a mistake here, and when I was doing it, I just was freaking out because I made a massive mistake, but then it actually ended up turning out really, really good, and I absolutely love how it came out. It just goes to show that even if you do make mistakes, you can actually fix it, and you might actually like the result a lot more after than what you were planning. So I really like this spread, and I will probably try and do something in the future similar to this, but I also want to change things up for 2026. Then I got my Romantasy. It's hilarious how the main two Romantasies are the ACOTAR series, and then you got Empyrean, and then just the new Fade Alchemy book. I only wanted to put in the adult Romantasies in this section. I did read a lot more young adult Romantasies, but this section I just wanted to keep it as adult. Next, I have the vampire spreads. I have 2 spreads of vampires. I did not realize how much vampires I actually consume, and there's actually more that I didn't add in here because I left them because they could potentially be a spoiler. I just used the ones that were specifically vampires. This one, of course, is the Witcher series, and it's a whole bunch of like monsters and vampires and everything like that. So that one's not really much of a spoiler. Then I have just romance books. I wanted to specifically just put in any type of romance. There is some that are different. Like for example, this is like suspense romance. So like there's a lot of different romance parts in this. I really like this slut page. I love the love heart. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a lot of borders next year. I really like doing them this year, but I feel like I want to try some plain sections first, and then maybe in 2027 I will kind of like do a combination. But I really like this spread, especially the love heart. I feel like that's super cute. Then I have this book swap section. Then I have my non-fiction section. I like reading non-fiction because it gives you a real perspective in life. As much as I love fantasy and I love going into different worlds and creative worlds that isn't the modern world that we live in, I do like to be a little bit more grounded sometimes, especially before bed. So I do read a lot of these types of books before bed. Then I have the Shelf Control Fund. So the Shelf Control Fund, if you don't know what it is, it's basically a thing that me and Jake does to not constantly buy books, but also not be in a book ban. So what we've done is we've actually created a jar literally full of money. In order to earn money, you have to read books. And now I have a whole entire video on this section, and I will make more in the future. So we started this around mid 2025, so I will only be ending with whatever I have in that jar will go here. These are the books that I actually bought with the money. Now I do want to do more of this page in the future, but because we only started mid-year, there was only a couple books that I wanted to do. Plus this book was so expensive. This is like $50, and it takes a long time to get to $50 if you're not having big chunky books. But I really love this spread, and I'm so excited to do more of it. We love doing the Shelf Control Fund, so I really love this spread. Then I've got fave per month, very simple, just whatever was my favorite book of each month, and I've just added it in here. I have 2 spreads of this, and as you can tell, I have no idea what the December one is. I am thinking it might be Quicksilver, but I am still giving The Way of Kings a chance for that spot as well. And then that is it for the yearly spreads. Then we go into our monthly spreads. As you can tell, I left out the end. Don't judge me, okay? I understand that I did a mistake. I added it in. It looks funky, but it's fine. I also didn't realize, as you can see, it bled through. I didn't realize that you needed to have different types of stationary. You can't really have oil based, you need to have water based so it doesn't bleed through. So because of that, I just did like a highlighter type of situation here, but I definitely want to do something a little bit different next year because I don't know, I'm not loving this. I'm not loving it at all. Then I have the different spreads. So I tried to do a different color theme and different theme with that color every month. So I started off with doing all of this. This does not happen for the rest of the month. I did it once and that was January only. Then I also put in my TBR and I also ticked it or crossed it out to show whether I completed it in that month or not. But as you can see, this one I did a bubbles themed. I think it was pretty cute, and the different sections when I actually did like a couple words to explain what the book was about. Then we have February. I did more of a pink theme and stickers. Now I didn't mean to do the stickers because I was drawing something here and I absolutely hated it, so I colored in black and then I basically gave up with this. So I don't want to do that next year. I want to actually try to do it properly, and next time I'm not going to be doing it in pen or texture. When I am doing a draft, I will use gray lead so I can rub it out. But yes, as you can see, I did my TBR here and stickers. I mean, it's still okay, but this one is definitely not my favorite at all. And I just continued that theme. I also make sure to write down how many stars was each book. I do forget very easily with that, but that's okay. Then there's March. I absolutely love this section of the writing, and I love the sunflower theme. As again, I did the TBR, and as you can see, this is the first X, so I didn't finish this book. But similarly, when I was doing the setup, I had all of these ready on a Word document and I was just going through what I had. So I did it late when I was filling this in, but I still had all of that information ready to go. Then April was this pretty design of purple clouds. I really did not know what to do with the purple theme, but as you can see, TBR here. But I think it came okay. Not my favorite, but it wasn't the worst either. And then we've got May. Now, I was actually trying to keep these separated, but it ended up not coming like that. It actually looked really bad. I ended up thinking of doing something like this, and I actually love the results. So what started off as a mistake became really good as well. So of course, this is a very green leaf theme. Another funny thing with this actual spread is that this part was not supposed to look like a flower leaf. It was supposed to be a clover in the beginning, and then of course I made a mistake when I was doing it because I didn't start off with gray lead. I just started off with texture. So note to self, if you are always making mistakes like me, always start off with gray lead and then work your way to texture on top of it. But I really enjoyed the leaf spread. I thought it was really cute. And then we have June. June is supposed to be more of a brown theme. I really like these teddy bears. They're so cute, and I did different colors as well. As you can see, TBR is there, and all this normal books that I've read are also in the same month. I did a little bit of a mistake up here. I tried to fix it. It's not the best. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and this time it didn't work out, but that's okay. And it did look a little bit plain with just the bears, so I just added in some love hearts as well, and I think it came out super cute. I love the bears though, but they took so long to complete. Oh my goodness. That's also on this page. And then for July, I really like how I did this section here. I really liked the orange theme to make it as oranges as well. I do have to say I could have done a lot more detailing and spent a little bit more time on making it more prominent, but I do think it came out really nice. So maybe next year I'll do more time in detailing, but this is what came up. July themes of oranges. This took so long because there's so many pages of spreads. I was so over doing oranges at this point, but that's okay. Then we've got August. This is the spread where I wanted to give pink another shot, so I tried to do like a sakura blossom type of theme. I think it came pretty cute. I did want to do more details, but I felt like it was going to take way too long for the time that I did have, and I did want to complete the 2025 book journal in 2025, so I just opted for doing dots, and I think it came out pretty cute. I really enjoyed the section, and I like how, you know, in the spring or summer when the sakura blossoms come out and it's everywhere, I kind of did that type of situation as well where they're just kind of falling off. I really like this spread. And then I've got September, so I did little penguins and then some snowflakes of different colors. This is like a blue-gray theme, but it's a majority gray, and I really enjoyed this actually. The penguins are so cute, but they did take so long as well, but I think they came out really cute, and I love adding the snowflakes. Surprisingly, the snowflakes took so long, and like there is so many where I actually did not make it look nice. Like that one is so weird, but I had a lot of fun with this. I love doing the different colors. I think it all kind of blended in really nicely. Then I've got my October. This is actually a very interesting one because I had no idea what I was going to do for October, which was the Halloween month. So I did all these bits and pieces, but it still looked very plain. So what I ended up doing was I actually put on my pinky finger just the red texture, and then I just like smeared it. The inspiration I got was like in zombie films, how they kind of like do that and like bring it down with the blood. That's kind of what I was going for here. I think it was pretty good, like not the best, but as you can see, like it's quite plain besides the actual title page of October. Whoops. The whole point was like poisonous apple, a knife with blood dripping down, and then I wanted to put in the it balloon because why not? Then I've got November. This month was kind of funny, especially with this whole section. I have a thing with N. I don't know what it is, but I just can never do it properly without having a reference to see how it looks like. So technically it was supposed to be this way, but it ends up being this way because I did not do the N correctly here, so it turns into an M. As you can tell, it's really wonky up here. But as you can see, this is a blue themed again, and I really like the fishes. It's so cute. I was gonna do a lot more of like a sea life situation, but a lot of these spreads were just so that I could finish on time, and I really like them. They're pretty cute. I love the little bubbles, the small bubbles of air, and just the water section. I really like this spread. It's pretty cute as well. And then I have my December spread. I don't think I like this one either. It's not my favorite. It's not the worst either. But I wanted to kind of do like a whole situation of like fairy lights for the spreads. I felt like I could have done a lot more on this section, maybe like presents, but when I did it on the title page, it didn't look the best. So I just opted with just doing the lights and kind of like dangling them off of the actual books. I think it came okay, but it was like not the best in my opinion. I definitely want to do something a lot more different next year, but I feel like, as I said, like I was running out of ideas by this point, but next year I'm gonna give myself a lot more time and working on it every month instead of procrastinating it like I did when I started and having to rush with a lot of spreads as well. But I am actually really happy with how it came out, considering I am not the best when it comes to December colors and December ideas for Christmas. So I think it came out pretty good, but still not my favorite spread either. I've also added the Way of Kings because I can easily take it off if I didn't finish it off. But yes, that is it. I have a lot of blank pages left. So my goal for 2026 is to try and fill a lot more. Okay, so that was the 2025 book journal. Like I said, I made so many mistakes. I'm not perfect. I took a really long time and I procrastinated doing this book journal. I started in March, and honestly, if I could go back, I wish I would have told myself to stop trying to be perfect and stop trying to think of all of the ideas and just let the creativity flow. I really enjoyed myself doing the book journal. That is the whole point of it. It's not to be perfect, it's to have fun, is to enjoy it. And if you don't like making your own manual book journals, then there's so many options out there now where they have written based book journals, they have it images that you can fill in and color in. Like there's so many options for you now. So I am nearly finished with my 2026 book journal. So I will be showing you guys that soon. And I hope you enjoy the setup for that video as well. But I'm gonna leave this video here. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope everyone is having great holidays. If you do celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. And if you are just going through the holidays, then happy holidays. If you don't celebrate any type of holidays at this time, then I hope you're doing well. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next video. Happy reading, everybody. Bye.